How's it going, guys? Prepping the box here, truck box, because it's going to get painted today. And then tomorrow I'll have to order some more clear. Just all this top half, and it's got to run 600. Sand that. Sand back here. That's all blocked. This is all blocked up. All of it. So, give you guys a view of the truck. I don't go outside, but there she is outside. I can't see what you guys are seeing here. I like that Saddlejet. It's definitely a different gun compared to a DeValvis Plus. What I found yesterday was, when I was spraying, is that the Saddlejet is a slower gun and more materials in the air than actually goes on the vehicle. So it's really fine, a fine spray that goes on the vehicle. A DeValvis Plus, I find you gotta run like hell, and it likes to use clear up. Good 3/4 of the clear goes on the vehicle and so much in the air. So it's kind of different. That was my first time painting that much, like a complete cab with that Saddlejet, and I like it. And that, so, but had a couple questions on how much air pressure I'm using on these guns, and if I can explain a drop coat on top of, so I'm going to do better. So what I'm going to do is when I base this whole thing, I'm just going to leave the camera going, and then I'll show you what I mean by drop coat. And actually with this video here, we'll go through, give me a minute, guys. Because someone asked, with guns, with spray guns, you know what I mean? Like, this is a big pattern on this Saddlejet. That's huge. This is a DeValvis Tecon Pro Late. That's the one I use for base, and I find it's a really good gun for base. And this runs at, I run this at anywhere from 20 to I don't know, 26 psi. The Saddlejet, I ran it at 30 psi, and but if you, so the question, there was a question on, you know, somebody has a gun that says it can run 30 pounds or whatever, and what happens if you want to slow your gun down and use less air, you just don't adjust the air, you have to adjust everything else with it. It seems when you turn it up, the air, you have to adjust the fluid that's actually coming out, because if you go low air, and like say if you're going 30-35 psi, and you set the fluid tip at that, and then you go turn the air down, you're gonna have more fluid coming out of here going on the vehicle, and going on thick. So that's the ideal, but every gun is different. Like I said, this is my first time this year running one of these, and you know what I mean, so I'm getting the hang of it. I've used DeValvis Plus for years and years and years, and DeValvis GTI, and so that's a totally different program for me, but once I get it figured out, I'm good to go. So yeah, So it's all about the right amount of air, the right amount of fluid. So, you know, put a piece of paper on the wall, you know what I mean? Yeah, the more air you give, the bigger your fan pattern is, and the better it'll break the material up. Some guns, like this one here, calls for 26 psi, I think this guy is, because these guys, they come with different caps and that. And but you can actually go up more than that. And so, you know, put a piece of paper on the wall and just give it a test. I'll do that today with the with this one here with the base. I'll show you the pattern. And you also, if you hold it and you look at it and watch how your gun is spraying and see, you know what I mean, make sure it's not too heavy in one spot, and you know what I mean, heavy in the center and light on both ends and that. So so yeah, that'd be the gun things. Like I said, one's for one thing and one's for the other thing. I would like to try out to see how that Jet sprays base, but for now I'm just gonna keep it for clear and that. So so there you go, man. The sun's coming out now. They're calling for heavy rain today, but what happens is, you guys look very carefully. See all that metallic? You see all that metallic in there? That's for me doing a drop sheet. And what happens is, when you go to put your base on, you know, semi-wet, what happens is your metallics will lay flat, and there won't be no thing to it. So what you do is you put your base on normal, you know, get it on there wet, and then as soon as it starts flashing, before it dries, you put a top coat, and all you're doing is, like, I'll just quarter trigger or half trigger, and I'll just keep misting it on, make sure it's not marbled there or anything, and then that's dropping a drop coat or drop sheet on it's just making the metallics flip and that, so it gives it the depth of it. So hope that helped out, but I'll have some videos there. We're gonna do the base and that on this one. I'll get the ground coat on, the dark gray, and then we'll go with the color, and then I'll show you what I mean by drop sheeting metallics. All it does is it makes the metallics sit on top of the actual base and that, and because sometimes, you know, if you just do if I'm going to blend that door into the fender, I kind of have to look at the paint, see what it's like, and then that's, if I don't have to do a drop sheet, I just put it on like I usually do, and then blend it into the original color. Now I painted a Dodge Sober for Steve, their box, just the box side. He did the body work and brought it over here, and that would have been a good video there because it was silver. The truck's actually down low at the thing. I should maybe, when he stays, take a walk down there and show you guys. But blending into original color, it's tricky, but it's also patience, and it's all about how you set your gun up. Like I said, you know, you start messing around with your air, you have to play with the fluid that's coming out of it. You have to play with the fan. It's just not one thing. It's just not dial one thing down. You have to go through all of them. Nah. So I'm gonna let you guys go. I'm gonna finish up my cup of Joe here, and I'll be back. Okay, guys. So see what we got here. Okay, ciao.